Who is God? Where is God? What is God? God is SIP, Supreme Immortal Power. Who is God? We pray to a God. We bow down. We go to a temple. We go to a church. We go to a monastery. And we pray. There is a statue of God. There is a picture of God. We do so many rituals. But have we stopped to understand who is God? God is a power. God is an immortal power. God is a supreme immortal power. But we don't realize it. God is everywhere. God is in the trees. God is in the fog. God is in the mountains. God is in you. God is in me. But somehow we have been taught that God is that statue in the temple, and we bow down. We have been taught that God is up in the skies, and we look up. We question, oh God, why? Have you stopped to even ask yourself, what is God? What is G-O-D? Does G-O-D have any meaning? Who is God? To a Christian, God is Jesus. To a Hindu, it may be Krishna or Shiva. Every faith has their own God. Although Buddha said that he is not a God, the Buddhists pray to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. And we pray to devas and gods and goddesses. When will we realize that God is actually SIP? God, G-O-D, is actually SIP, S-I-P, the Supreme Immortal Power. God is the power in the sun that glows, the wind that blows, the water that flows. God is a power. God is not made of bone and skin. God is that power that is within. If God was a man or a woman, then God would need a cardiologist, a dermatologist. No, God is birthless. God is deathless. God is immortal. God is supreme. God is omnipresent. He's present everywhere. God is omnipotent. He can do anything. God is omniscient. He knows everything. But we are ignorant. We don't know God. For centuries, people have told us that God is G-O-D. What is G-O-D? Just because somebody told you God, you believe God. What is God? Who is God? How many gods? Millions of gods? Which God of which religion is the right God? Every religion is good. Every God we pray to is good. But that is just a picture of God. That is not God. God is SIP, SIP, Supreme Immortal Power. This is beyond religion. SIP is not another religion. SIP is the one name for the one God of all religions. Because we believe in different gods, we are fighting with each other, we are killing each other in the name of religion. When will our religious leaders wake up and teach us that there is one God, SIP, Supreme Immortal Power? Isn't God a power? Isn't God supreme? Isn't God immortal? That is why you and me will die, but the soul in us doesn't die. People will say he passed away. Who passed away? It is the God in us, the Supreme Immortal Power. The SIP in us. You may call it a soul, you may call it Atma, you may call it spirit, but it is a SIP. The power in us is SIP, Supreme Immortal Power. When will we realize that God is SIP? That SIP is God. That God is the Supreme Immortal Power. That the Supreme Immortal Power is God. We go to temple and to church, but we don't go and search for the God that is everywhere. Because you can't find God. You have to realize God. When you realize God, you will realize God is not somebody who has a name, somebody who has a form. God is a power. God is SIP, Supreme Immortal Power. From today, bow down to SIP. Bow down to the supreme immortal power. And start believing in SIP, the supreme immortal power that is everywhere, in everything, in you and me. Then we will experience that power everywhere. We can feel that power in the beat of our heart. We can feel that power in all the beauty around. We can feel that power in every creature that walks and crawls. We will experience God. We will realize God as SIP, Supreme Immortal Power.